So I was a Forex trader before I was a futures trader, but I started to notice a lot of things that just didn't make sense to me when I was trading Forex, and there were a lot of red flags. And then came what I'm gonna call the big bang. All the prop firms like the Forex industry started just imploding, exploding, getting exposed and going out of business, which really shook up the industry. Because of all this, I decided to go ahead and switch over to futures. You know what I'm saying? But when I made the switch, I didn't expect to discover all the things I discovered. Now, I don't have anything against Forex. It's where I started, where I learned a lot, and where I built my foundation. But switching to futures, I'm not gonna lie, that's when the game changed for me. As I said, man, I was trading Forex and CFDs for years before I switched over to futures. I switched over to futures before it became kind of normal now. So like when I switched over, there really wasn't any information. Like I ain't know, like it was different, right? You know what I'm saying? I go get the broker and they know there's different data fees and there's different this. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is all this? You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't really much guidance, but now luckily there's a lot of information. You know, you can look stuff up, and then even like the evaluation companies now are getting a lot more more known in this space. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like it's getting more recognition, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? So, but I was way ahead of the curve, a little early. But hey, it is what it is. I'm glad I discovered it. And I'm also glad too that other people discovered it, because there's a lot of benefits to switching to futures, right? There are some cons as well, but it's a lot of good things about it. So one of the main things that I noticed, and a lot of people probably noticed when they switched over, and if you're on the fence, you'll probably notice, or you'll probably switch over after just this point, there's no market manipulation. Now, I'm not saying weird stuff doesn't happen, right? There's some people want to, oh, well, the big banks and the institutional investors. Look, man, hey, it is what it is. You're playing a game right now. But what I'm saying is there's not that manipulation from like the brokers where one broker just wicks up 100 points and comes back down in 30 seconds. Or I know some of you guys have been in trades where it's near your stop loss or not even near it, and the spread just widens, pops you out, and then goes in your favor. So you lose. But your actual move won. That's the manipulation that was happening in the foreign exchange market with all these brokers, especially unregulated brokers. Because foreign exchange, aka the currencies of all the world, there's not regulation for it, right? There's no body or group who puts rules and regulations on it and enforces them. So stocks, futures, stuff like that, like there's regulation. What price you see is the price I see. You in California, somebody in Illinois, somebody in the Philippines, somebody in Japan. We all see the same price. With the brokerage charts, it's another thing, right? I'm sure you could go to Forex.com, then go to Oanda, then go to FXCM. Every single one of them has a different price. Why is that? Because it's not regulated. So they had basically the power to do what the hell they want to do with their own prices. That does not happen here. And that is beautiful, man, because you can trust that you're getting accurate information. And that brings me to my second point. The data is legit, okay? We no longer have different price points for different brokers, right? So I know y'all noticed too in the foreign exchange space or CFDs or whatever, right? Forex.com had a price, Oanda had a price, FXCM had a price. You can go to any broker and they all had different prices. And their charts would also do random things at random times. I remember looking at some brokers, right? You might look at 8-cap. Man, their stuff was notorious. Around 3 to 4 o'clock when their market's about to close, they would wick down 100 points in 30 to 60 seconds and then come back up to remove everybody's stop loss for the day. Knock all the people who are in prop firms out or their money, their accounts, anything, clear house, and then come back up and act like nothing happened. Meanwhile, you go to the futures charts, nothing. I'm gonna give you an example, a visual example, right? When I was back testing the other day, I was looking at the charts literally on Forex.coms and then my futures. Same thing, right? I forgot it was like Euro or GBP or something like that. But it was crazy because one of my moves on the futures, right, swing move, held for like 5 days, right? Just going in profit. Literally, shit you not, literally on the Forex.com chart, man, that thing went up and lost within the first 12 hours and was negative for like all the 5 days. I was like, yo, how is this like, this shouldn't even be legal. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big point too, man. The data is legit. You getting trustworthy, tried and true, real data. It's important. Third point, futures is actually a little bit more expensive than Forex. Now, a lot of people may disagree. You can still do it for a low price, but comparatively, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot more expensive. And that's because the Forex space is designed to take people's money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why it was so enticing and it was promoted and marketed so heavy back in the day when they were doing them little MLM multi-pyramid scheme type things, right? Trying to sign people up. Oh, just put $100 in, you can turn it to 10,000. Because they would require a little bit of money because they were going to take your money. You feel me? Like you're going to lose that from that broker. From swap fees and commissions, all that good stuff, and from their manipulation, or they will take your money. And they will give you high leverage. So you might could put $200 in there and trade $50 a trade. Yeah, you're gonna lose that. Just being honest with you. With futures, it's a lot more regulated. They do have like micros or like the E-mini accounts. I mean, just being real, like I put a couple thousand in my account. I got a regulated account. So it's not cheap. It can be done cheap, but it's not cheap, right? If you want to be able to put like a good position size on, you know, put enough contracts on, you know, you need to have some decent money, but you still can do it for like $500 for sure. Like, you know, just trade, like I said, a micro E-mini, but it's not as cheap as Forex, but it is a lot safer. The next point is there are a lot of market gaps. Now, I'm not going to go too deep because this is something I only talk to about with like a lot of my advanced people, my private clients, but I'll just scratch the surface with you guys, right? Because of the gaps, if you ever go down in futures, right, you're trading like the 5 minute, 10 minute, 15, like something kind of smaller. You'll notice that the price, there's a gap because there may not be buyers or sellers in the market, okay? Now go to a foreign exchange chart or CFD chart, right? And you'll see that everything is like perfectly smooth. That's not the case. Why does this matter? Well, it matters because depending on what you use to backtest, you're going to have to adapt your strategy because there's some things that may look invalid based off if you do it a certain way or what you may have used during Forex or CFDs that will now be valid or invalid on futures. So it could drastically throw your data off. So again, I'm not gonna go too deep, but that's something you want to take to as well into consideration is that the market gaps is something too when it comes to futures. That's a lot different than Forex. And also that leads to, there are more diverse asset class options. There's a lot of things you can trade here that you can't trade in Forex or the CFD market, right? So of course in the foreign exchange is currencies. And then the CFDs is indices, you know, gold, stuff like that. But when it comes to futures, you not only have your currency, so you have the major ones like GBP, Euro, Swiss franc, Canadian dollar, stuff like that. And you have Dow Jones, NASDAQ, you know, S&P, all that good stuff. But man, you can trade oil, you know, you can trade soybean, you can trade corn, you can trade like treasury notes or T-bills or whatever. So like there's a lot of different things you can trade. There's also a big difference in the way trades are executed and their differences during the execution. Now, what do I mean by this? In Forex, it was pretty standard where you knew what it cost, right? You put a lot on, or you put 10 lots. I'm gonna use 10 lots, right? Except for things like JPY pairs, you know, they were a little funny as far as the pricing. You pretty much know like, yo, it's moving $100 per pip if you put 10 lots on. You know, that's pretty standard. But when you get in the futures game, you gotta know what you're trading because one contract on Dow is not one contract on GBP, and it's not one contract on oil. Like all them joints are different. Like you just keep putting one contract the same on everything, you're gonna lose your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like your money gonna be going quick and in a hurry, I promise you. So make sure you pay attention to that, read all the things on the CME website and all this good things and get your information. But just know like, it's not the exact same. That was a little confusing as well up front, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of information on the websites. Take note. My belief, you should hone in and master a few, not try to trade the many. You know what I'm saying? You rather be a master of few than amateur or rookie of none. You feel me? So, you know, once you learn the ones you trade like the back of your hand, you know, you'll be good. You know what I mean? But always remember that. That way you don't get caught one day you sleepy, you know, oh, just put a contract on. You mess around, lose your whole account. You don't know what happened, you know? So that's also the importance of having a daggone plan. You feel me? So make sure y'all go to my description, man. Check out my courses in trading and finance, man. Got good information to help you guys out, help you get to being a consistent, profitable trader so you can make some money. You can change your life. You know what I'm saying? And if you like this type of content, and you like this video, man, make sure you subscribe. If you don't like making money, then don't subscribe. But do one thing for me before you get out this video. text this video to somebody who needs it, man. Be a blessing to them, because I'm sure we all need this at one point or another in our journey. You feel me? So text this to them and be that blessing for them and give them that good information. All right. I'm going to see you next time, man. Much love.